All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. You may notice some changes. All of that has to do with the fact that I have a new computer and parts of it have not arrived yet. I have a new mic, a new stand, and a new shock mount that was supposed to come with a computer, and they're back ordered. So for tonight, I'll be just using the mic on my new Corsair Void Pro headset, which for some odd reason, I think it's the noise canceling um, part of it. Uh, if I uh, sustain a note or anything for too long, it just turns off the mic. I found that out when singing. I have no idea if it will affect the me just speaking, but if you notice, my mic just turns off randomly. That's why. Hopefully, the new mic will be here soon. With that said, uh, let's get back to the game. We finally have the commander back, who's been missing for a little bit while we while everyone got captured and sent to a vampire place, or maybe he was only gone for 1 week. I can't remember. Um, but let's yeah. So to bring everyone back into this. Um, uh, Recently, Henri brought the party together south of the Temple of the Dark Lady and revealed that his master had asked him to basically kidnap Vala. After revealing that and, trying to come up with a way that wouldn't happen, all of you were teleported to some unknown place underground where this vampire lord was just kind of a dick. Um, and now you guys are trying to kind of deal with your captivity. Thus far, Vala has been interrogated and tortured, more tortured than interrogated. And Henri has been kind of chastised by his master, and is going to be tested now. His loyalty is going to be tested by having Henri run the next set of interrogations. So that's where we were at the end of last session. And because this music is awesome, it might be just a little bit loud. Let me turn that down. So, you all, and I don't think, Commander, do you have your mini on the map yet?
I do not.
Okay, just kind of click on your name in the journal and just drag yourself over, and your mini should appear.
Oh, there we go.
And then you all, if you come down to the lower right hand corner of the map, that's where you all are. Or I can is
Oh. Sorry, I didn't go down far enough.
yeah. You can be anywhere in that cage. Sorry for fixing some stuff on the little miniature map I have that I can't actually show you because I don't have that scene set up. But I will the next game. Sorry. So at the end of the last session, everyone was trying to get a little bit of sleep and dealing with just everything that happened. Vala was recovering from her wounds. So the first thing I'd like everyone to do is just roll me con saves, if you would be. Actually, make these wisdom saves.
Thank you, benevolent kind Dia. Yeah, okay.
Your con save will come later.
I think my
Argenta, what'd you get?
18.
Okay, Vala,
17.
Lillian,
17.
Henri.
I think I'm still cursed. It wasn't in that one, but it was close.
All right,
I'm-
Commander.
20, not natural.
Okay. So Argenta, Vala, Lillian, and Commander, as you guys fall asleep, you don't sleep particularly well. You're woken up randomly in the night just by the awkward environment you're in. Sometimes you'll wake up thinking you heard someone screaming, but once you're awake, there's no sound at all. Other times you'll feel something crawling on yourself only to wake up and see there's nothing there. But even in spite of these things, you do manage to get just enough sleep to wake up somewhat refreshed. You wake up with aches and pains all over your body from sleeping on the hard floor, but you get the effect of a long rest. Henri, it's been a while since you've actually slept at night, but you do enter a sort of meditative state, not full-on trance, but you are able to kind of sit down and meditate as a way to refresh yourself somewhat without actually falling asleep or going into a trance. Since being here, you have a harder and harder time concentrating, and last night was the absolute worst. As you sat there trying to focus yourself, to concentrate, to regain some of your magical stamina, and kind of reset your mind, every time you would focus on something, you would start to get your mind to focus, and then you would instantly get this pang of regret as you would your mind would just bring up a situation where you had screwed up previously, and and so every time you tried to focus, you would just get this tense pang of guilt and panic, almost kind of reliving it in your head to a point. And because of that, you just were never really able to get into your sort of relaxation phase. So you do get the effects of a long rest, but you also have one level of exhaustion added to you.
Sweet. Only 4 more to go and I die. I don't know if my dice are cursed or if it's just really fitting for the scenario.
Why not both?
At least I'm not in the house with Will Wheaton's autograph. Okay.
So, as you all wake up, you notice Henri in the corner, like he normally is. But there's something different about him. He looks a little more disheveled than you're used to seeing. Other than that, what do you guys want to do?
So I am gonna go up to Henri, and I'm gonna put my hand on the shoulder and say, "Are you feeling okay? You look a little more off than normal."
Well, how should I put this? You know how I don't sleep,
Yes.
and then the past few nights I felt I needed to sleep and couldn't because I'm not used to sleeping. I don't know what's going on, but it's not normal. I
Well,
don't like this place.
I think we're all in agreement there. I could try playing you some music, see if that helps you fall asleep. But
I don't think anything will help until this problem's been dealt with. I'll just blame the hammock I tried to make.
about this place and trying to get out of here, I've been thinking.
Fire won't work.
It's as if you can read my mind.
Part of the ring I gave you.
Wait a minute. I'd cast Identify on it to see if you're lying, but I can't do that. Last night you said he wanted you to try to interrogate me today.
Yeah.
I think you should.
I mean, my methods I've done in the past all involved the magic, and I assume he's not going to let me utilize those. I mean, he'd be stupid to let me have magic because he knows what I can do with it.
Or he might to test you.
Because without magic, I'm nothing but an altar boy. I don't know anything outside of a church.
Don't sell yourself short, friend. The magic that you've done has been terrifying at times, and has been useful, but you're worth more than just the tricks you can do. You can still contribute quite a bit to us without it. It's not your sole value, if that makes sense. But
I honestly don't know if I want these anymore. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. You know, those times where I would conjure up that blade of shadows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any recollection of what I did after that. for like a few hours, so I don't know if I was in control. I don't know. I just black out.
Hmm.
But yet I don't black out, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, if you want to give up your powers, I don't think any of us would stop you. But in order for us to get out of here, I think you need to get his trust back. So, whatever you have to do, I want you to know I won't hold it against you.
Well, honestly, he thinks you're lying about where you got said whatever it is he wants, whatever he wanted. I don't know what I'm going to be able to pull from you that he wasn't able to. I mean, I get my powers from him. If he can't get it, I don't know how I can. It's throwing me off.
And I'm just saying, don't hold back. And I'll like squeeze the shoulder and then kind of walk away and start, getting some food out of my pack and stuff.
So the rest of you, as you're kind of waking up, you would notice a kind of quiet conversation between Vala and Henri, and you watch as Vala walks away and starts rummaging through her back, looking for rations of some sort. As that happens, you hear the familiar sound of the door to the north unlocking, and you see the young woman you've seen many times before walk in, and behind her is the big hulking brute, and he's carrying a tray of probably you're thinking very similar to what you were given last night. There's some sort of baked-ish good, and he also has a large pitcher. And so he comes in and he places the tray in front of the cage and places the pitcher down. And the young woman kind of looks at you all, looks at the food, and simply says, "You should eat up. You have a very busy day ahead of you." And then she just turns on her heel and walks out.
Thank you.
Just in the interactions that I've had with all of these creepy people, because my favorite enemy is undead, have I gotten any inkling that they are undead, or no?
The vampire, definitely. And the hulking brute, you're getting some undead vibes from it, but they're weird.
Okay.
The four women, though, don't seem to be undead as far as you can tell.
All right.
And just being around and the brief amount of time you've spent outside your cage, you've seen signs of undead presence everywhere. So you think there's probably more undead here than you actually seen.
I'm just eating some rations. I'm not eating the given food.
Okay.
I'm spacing since I haven't slept in 2 days and just eating what they gave.
Okay. And again, as you bite into it, it's really hard and dry, but doesn't seem poisoned or spoiled or anything. Just not very tasty.
If I could use magic, I could add flavor to it.
Vala's eating. I kind of peer at the back of her neck. Since that thing is out more, is there any, any details on it that we didn't see before, or is it just plain?
Go ahead and make me a investigation.
I probably be working too.
Okay. You can both make checks then.
Okay.
I'll just be like, "Don't, just don't touch it. Just
Okay.
don't. Just
Look,
eyes."
18 for me.
All right.
And nine.
So, Lillian, you for the most part are just kind of focusing on the fact that what was a disc that was flush against her skin is now hanging off slightly, and you can see it actually has. It's a little thicker than a disc, and the part that used to be in her skin is now kind of out and overlapping, and it looks like it's got kind of hooks to it, and it just doesn't look right. But the thing that kind of catches your eye the most is the fact that the back of her neck, the skin around it is looking inflamed now, and it's starting to take on a slight yellowish color. Argenta, on the other hand, you get to focus a lot more on the device itself. Looking at it, it looks to be about an inch thick, and just like Lillian, there seems to be little hooks that are what are holding it in from the inside. But you can actually see what almost look like hinges on it, making you think that when it was implanted, the hooks kind of bent inward to form a point, which is probably how it was inserted. Is that stuck it in, and then the hooks just kind of spread out and grip just underneath the skin. And you notice the discoloration and flamed look of her neck, and with your knowledge of undead, you can recognize the very early signs of necrosis. There's no skin that's dead yet, but it's progressing along that path.
So I just kind of tell Vala, that thing is gonna kill the skin on the back of your neck, right? And that's a nasty infection, and I can't help you with that.
Well, I kind of want to try the lock thing again, since that took it half off, but I almost died last time, and well, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die again today, so
Because
do I want to do it early or do it before bed?
We could always try the Band-Aid method.
Which is?
Yank it off fast.
Oh, I'm sure that will kill me too. But at least with the lock, it might take the lock out too.
Vala, think of it this way. If he wants something from you, I don't think death will stop it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Argenta, with an 18, you would have also been able to see, as Lillian was looking at it, or Lillian doesn't have one in her neck, does she?
No.
Who has it? Just Vala and Henri, isn't it? Damn.
Yeah.
Nope, you wouldn't have noticed nothing, so sorry.
Probably not killing them.
Or is it?
Oh.
You technically have two to look at if you want to compare the notes between Henri and Vala.
Jody,
Yep.
Yeah, I think I would.
would I know if I've had this in my neck longer than from when we got here, or was this a new addition from when we got here?
Make me a history check with the disadvantage.
I got news for you. I got disadvantage on everything
Oh,
already.
yeah.
Hey, a 5.
You're having such a hard time concentrating that remembering whether or not you've had this for a while just isn't something you can do. Anytime you try to think too hard on anything, your mind just wanders or won't focus. So you don't know.
I'm gonna just kind of wander over to Henri and take a look at it.
I mean, make me another investigation check.
Not as good, but 16.
So looking it over, looks very similar to Vala's. You do notice you don't see the discoloration that Vala's has on it.
Well, your skin's not dying. Vala, I think your bullshittery with it caused that injury you have.
Oh. Well. It's probably better to get it over with quicker then, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know, that's your choice.
I'm going to very deliberately sit down in front of the lock with my back to it,
Mm-hmm.
take a couple of really deep breaths, like somebody's like preparing to jump into icy water, and then just throw my back at the lock.
Okay. I need 3 death saves.
Okay, we've got an 11,
Success.
an 11,
Success.
and a 16.
3 successes.
Not bad. So as you sit there focusing and preparing yourself, you throw yourself back in an attempt to knock it out, and immediately you see red. You guys watch as Vala's pupils dilate completely, and she lets out this scream unlike anything you guys ever heard before. As she's writhing in pain, you guys, she eventually collapses on the floor, and again, you guys see a pool of blood starting to form beneath her neck. As you kind of wait and watch to see if her chest is rising and falling or not. And after a second or two, she does seem to be breathing. But
Okay.
Vala, as of right now, you're at 0 hit points and are unconscious.
I'll wander up to Vala and dump one of my 2 cure wounds into her.
Oh,
You heal 6 hit points.
So Vala, you slowly come back to consciousness. You can feel the dampness and stickiness on your shoulders, and your hair feels kind of matted.
what do we say to the Dark Lady? Not today. And I'll just very like slowly roll over and be like, and
Is it still on her neck, or?
It is, but it's hanging on by just a small amount. You do notice that the skin that was kind of red and inflamed with a slight yellow tinge, you're starting to see little bits of black around the wound, and there's this kind of spider vein pattern radiating it out, going all the way down her back now and around her neck.
Well, We're gonna need a doctor, and it's. Have you ever hit your nail in a door and then it starts to come out, but there's that one bit of skin that wants to hang on? That's kind of what it's like on you right now.
Delightful. So one more would probably do it.
I mean, I have
Or
another,
kill me.
I mean, I have another spell, and I won't. This is all you.
What do I have to lose?
Your life?
Oh,
I mean, you worship the Dark Lady. If nothing else, this is getting you closer to your god.
Yeah.
except I don't. Yeah, is there anything different with the lock?
I can't tell you that, but somebody else would have to.
Henri, do you notice anything with the lock?
Oh, you're making me get up. I'll walk over.
It looks remarkably similar to a lock.
You have that ghost sight thing, right?
Okay, I'll do it. If it works.
As you activate it again, it looks very similar to the last time you think you looked at it. But again, you are running into the issue that remembering anything right now is really hard.
I mean, it looks the same.
Hmm.
I mean, I could just try shoving whatever that is into the actual lock, and see what happens, like into the hole.
I mean, at this point, it's just hanging on by a thread, right?
You know, I have a stupid idea.
But,
What happens when you put one anti-magic thing on another anti-magic thing?
Oh, you mean we go back to back?
I'm also very tired. This may be a dumb idea.
Well, baby.
Argenta only has one spell left.
I also have 2 potions of healing.
I'm just wondering, Argenta, do you just want to pull it out?
Yeah.
I could try that. I mean, I might kill you.
Phrasing.
Do we have like tongs or anything? Like a pair of pliers?
I have a bunch of incense. Will that work?
None of your backgrounds is plumber, is it?
Technically,
I have
No.
a tinder box. Do you want a tinder box?
I have an explorer's back. I don't have anything in there.
I mean, I have a crowbar, and a hammer,
Yeah,
No.
pitons.
We could knock you out with
bar
four.
off.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think.
low, tired, full.
The
I mean-
old tooth pulling method.
Right, we just tie the other end of the rope onto the door, and when they come to get us, bam. Foolproof. I'm just thinking whoever does it, Argenta, probably shouldn't use their bare hands on it.
Then the rope method might be the best.
Yeah, baby.
Or
Tie
take
a rope around that.
like some leather armor and grab it or something.
I mean, my
Gloves.
robes are just chilling in the corner. I haven't been wearing them since we got here.
Vala, as you've been saying this, You're subconsciously kind of just reaching back and scratching at your neck because it's starting to itch and burn. And you suddenly, without realizing it, actually touch the wound, and you feel a shock of pain go throughout your entire body. You guys watch as Vala's eyes just roll back into her head, and she just falls down. Once you hit the ground, Vala, you're kind of back, but the pain was rather intense, and you can feel that burning, itching sensation on your neck getting worse.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't do this anymore. Argenta, could you just pull it out?
Go grab my robes in the corner. The awful black ones.
Oh.
You're muted.
So I grab Henri's robe and I walk up to her and I'm like an inch from it and I'm just like, on 3, 1, and then I pull it.
Right. I need I need a death save from Argenta and 3 from Vala.
I got a 10. I am fine-ish.
Weirdly, when you said on 3, it sounded like Henri, and I was super confused.
First one is a 2.
Uh-oh.
Second one is a 13.
16.
Okay.
Third one is a 12.
16.
Right. So you guys watch as Argenta places her hand with the robe wrapped around it on Vala's neck, and she goes 1 and then just pulls, and you hear both Argenta and Vala scream out, and both collapse on the floor. You guys wait for a second as a very large pool of blood starts forming beneath Vala, starting to stain her robes and her clothes, and it's starting to actually fill this cage now. A lot more blood than has come out before. You do see her chest is moving ever so slightly, indicating that she's not dead. But she is unconscious at this point. Argenta as well is collapsed on the floor, unconscious.
Kind of forgetting, and when I see that happen to Vala, kind of forgetting about the thing in my neck, I will tiredly run over and at least try spare the dying, because it's what I'm used to doing.
Okay. As you do, your head gets even foggier, and you feel this sharp pain behind your left eye, almost like someone had just stabbed you right there. And the pain is intense enough that it actually knocks you off your feet for a second as you fall backwards, and nothing happens.
I'll give one of my healing potions to Lilianne, and I'll put the other one and pour it down Vala's throat.
Okay. As you guys are getting there, you're watching their breathing start to slow. I need the death saves from both of you guys.
Uh, 17.
Okay.
10.
All right. Argenta's breath starts getting a little stronger, but she's still looking bad. Vala, you see her breathing starts to become a little bit more even as Commander and Lilianne force these healing potions down their throats. Commander, go ahead and just roll hit points for both of them, since they're your potions.
Vala gets 7. Argenta gets 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys both start coming to Vala. Something is different. Your whole body just feels lighter. You can feel kind of an electricity kind of flowing through your veins, and then you try to lift your head up, and a wave of pain goes through you, and you realized your back is covered in blood.
Oh, is the thing out?
I just have like my hands open and I'm like, don't touch it, and I'm gonna just look for it.
Sure, without too much difficulty, you are able to find the device, and it's out, but it looks like it took a chunk of her skin and a little muscle from her shoulders as well.
You're gonna have a cool scar, Vala.
Oh, I hear guys dig scars, and I'm going to attempt to put my hand like on the small of my back and cast. Which one do I want? I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
Make me a concentration check.
Natural 20.
All right. As you sit there and kind of move around, it hurts so bad. Every time you move your arms, every time your head twitches at all, or you adjust your torso, it hurts so bad. But you focus on the magic that you once had control over. And as you place your hand on the small of your back, you feel this slight cooling sensation move from where your hand is touching up your back and throughout your body. And for a brief moment, the pain gets lesser. Go ahead and roll your healing.
Oh!
So good you threw the die away?
Pretty much. Math. 16.
All right. She regains 16 hit points, and the wound itself starts to close a little bit, but doesn't seem to fully close. And the bleeding finally stops. However, Vala, as you feel that go through you, you let your arm drop a little bit, and as soon as your upper arm and shoulder move at all, the pain is back. I don't know if you've ever pulled like your back or your shoulder, but literally anytime you move your upper body, it hurts so bad.
I am going to just kind of go, okay, that was good. Let's try this. And I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on myself.
Okay. I need another concentration check.
How does 11 sound?
As you try focusing on the lesser restoration, you just can't get your mind to focus enough. You cast this spell and use this spell slot, but it doesn't affect you.
I'm gonna take a moment and then try again.
Okay, another concentration check.
14.
As you focus, you feel the healing magic go into you, and you can actually feel, you didn't realize this before, but you could feel like your blood as it was going through you kind of had a burning sensation to it. It was so mild, and you had so much pain from the wound, you hadn't realized it until it stopped from the lesser restoration. having been poisoned before, you kind of recognize the feeling of the poison being cleansed.
So I'm gonna take a look at the back of her neck after she's done with her rounds of casting.
It's a bit of a nightmare. Again, there are black splotches around the wound itself. It has a relatively strong odor of decomposition, and that spider pattern is going down her back pretty far. Right now, it goes beyond what you can see because of her clothing. But if you move things around, it goes all the way down to her lower back, along the backs of her arms.
Can I make a medicine check to see if this is in any danger or if her casting might have abated it?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
18?
So, looking at it, this does not seem to be natural. It's to you, it's obviously arcane. So there's not a ton you can learn about it using your knowledge of just medicine and how the body heals itself. However, it does definitely look infected, and this spider pattern looks like having metal poisoning or something bad.
Well, it certainly looks infected and some type of poison running through you.
I will hand Vala my antitoxin that I bought. I don't know if it'll help, but either that or I give you something that'll help you resist it in the future.
I don't have any healer supplies or anything like that on me, and I'm not a trained medicine, but it's mostly what I've seen on the field before.
Well, I do have the antitoxin as well, so I'll drink that real quick.
Okay, so Vala, as it touches your tongue, you have to fight for a moment to keep from gagging. It is the most bitter flavor you've ever tasted. As it goes back, it actually goes through your soft palate into your nostrils a little bit, and you just get this smell that's just dark and bitter, like burning rubber mixed with sulfur.
Ugh.
And as you finish the drink, you kind of cough a little bit. It coats the inside of your mouth and leaves kind of a film there that's very bitter.
Okay.
Argenta, since you're behind her, you do see this spider infection pattern. Does seem to shrink ever so slightly, but it's still there. And almost looks like it's pulsing.
Whatever this is on your back, it's reacted to what you drank, but it's pulsing somewhat, I think.
Well, that's delightful.
Yeah.
I am going to attempt to use prestidigitation to help clean myself up and clean up the blood on the floor.
Okay, just make me 3 concentration checks, because it'll take you multiple castings to do everything.
So, and I'm going to start with myself.
Okay.
So first one was 22.
Yep.
16.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Oh yeah. With that, every time you cast magic, it hurts. And not so much from casting the magic itself, but just every time you move your arms, every time you turn your head, it's just pain after pain after pain. So focusing and getting the spells out is remarkably difficult. But you are able to clean up the blood. You're able to not only clean your clothes, but using prestidigitation, you're able to mask the kind of smell that's coming from your neck. And now the only indication that anything is different about you is the fact that your neck is somewhat bare.
Okay.
But with the blood out of your hair, you can style it if you want to kind of hide everything.
Yeah, I'll just kind of like put it down, not. And then I'll like stop, and be like, "Ah, shit." Start roughing it up a little bit, give me more of a head, make myself a little bit dirtier. Okay, gotta. Okay, and then I'm just gonna collapse on the ground.
I mean, we might want to hide the physical evidence.
I kind of pull out my silver dagger from my under my coat, and I'm gonna poke the device. Does anything happen to me?
Make me a con save.
Okay. Con save, right?
Mhm.
That's gonna be a +3, 16.
Okay, as you tap it with your dagger, you feel this shock, almost like you stuck the dagger into a electrical socket or something. But it goes up your entire arm, and you almost drop the dagger itself. As you pull it away, your the dagger arm, are you right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Your right arm is completely numb to sensation. You can still use it, but you can't feel anything.
Okay, I'm gonna sheathe my dagger carefully. You don't want to touch it with anything.
Alright, I'll just put my robe over it so at least it looks hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea. I try to use Mage Hand, but that's just
You almost died.
I heard.
As
a
you
lot.
try and focus, you see the hand form in your eye, and then it just disintegrates as you just collapse on the floor.
Yeah, I just my heart's not in it at the moment.
At this point, I'm just gonna kind of go up to the lock and feel it with my left hand while my right hand recovers.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything off about it at this point, or is it just a lock still?
It's still a basic lock. Again, mechanically, it's a good lock. But obviously, having seen it open so many times now, obviously there is something magical in it that allows these people to unlock it with a wave of their hand.
Well, we can't really use the devices, obviously. They're not kosher towards life, so...
Yes.
That's my second brush with death, and you're like fifth.
Just wondering if we could stick that thing on him.
We'd have to be able to touch it.
That's true.
Yeah.
None of us are undead, unfortunately.
As you're speaking, you guys hear the familiar sound of the door cracking, and as the locks are undone, and you see the woman you've seen many times before, that you've been taught is the first or leader of these four women, come in. This time without the huge monstrosity. She comes over and she waves her hand, and unlike other times, she actually reaches her hand out toward Henri. Will you be joining me?
Huh? What? Oh, sure.
What
Do you
happened?
take her hand, or what do you do?
I just get up and walk towards the door. I'm like, you know that sleep drunk state I
Mhm.
imagine on reason.
So you guys watch him kind of shuffle and sway as he goes out, kind of snubbing Elle, and she kind of gives him this look of disgust, and then walks with him out of the room and locks the door in the cage behind her.
As she leaves, I was like, "Second brought us food today. What happened to 4?"
Say that again.
Second brought us food today. What happened to 4? I'm referring to them as their order.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She just looks at you for a moment, shakes her head, and continues walking.
Okay, love you too.
Henri, as you walk through the halls, you run into a few walls here or there, just from your grogginess, but you eventually find yourself in that room you were in before, with your master in front of you. And he goes, well, looks like someone has been having a good night's sleep. You know, guilt will do that to you.
What? Sorry, kind of zoned out.
I understand. And you see him kind of wave his hand, and I'd like a perception check, please.
No expert, but I'm gonna say this is gonna fail. 14.
Okay, so as you watch him wave his hand in a manner that would suggest he's casting a spell, you notice this almost imperceptible movement in Elle, who's standing right next to him. And you watch her hand just very slightly raise up and move, and you see her lips move just a little bit as she waves her hand, and suddenly you feel a pressure on your back, as if someone has just placed their hand there, and you feel this wave of comfort and relaxation wash over you, and you lose both levels of exhaustion.
Oh, that's new.
Does that make you feel better?
I mean, physically, yes.
Good. See, I keep trying to convince your friends I'm not a bad person. See, when you are good to me, I'm good to you as well. I'm such a benevolent lord that I'm even going to give you back some of your power. And again, he waves his hand. Go ahead and make me another perception check.
11.
Okay. So as he waves his hand, a moment passes where nothing happens, and then suddenly you feel in the back of your neck this kind of lifting of a weight that you didn't realize had been there, and you feel this kind of electricity running through your arms and the legs and chest, and you feel empowered. But it just seems strange because the movement happened and then nothing, and then just a moment later then something happened, but it just they didn't seem connected to you.
Would I get the assumption that he's an illusion and that L's acting on his behalf while he's not here?
Make me an intelligence check.
17.
Thinking it over, he casts a shadow. He seems to actually interact with his chair, and you can actually see crumbs of something he must have eaten earlier falling off his chair as he brushes over them. If he was an illusion, it's a massively good one, much better than you think you've ever seen. But unless you go up and physically touch him, you can't be 100% sure.
Yeah, sure. Let's roll a new character, shall we? No, I'm kidding.
I run over and glomp him. And he goes, see? Isn't that better? And then now, you will have all of your abilities, so you can truly interrogate this prisoner to the fullest of your abilities.
Okay, I don't know. I honestly don't know what you expect me to get that you couldn't.
She should trust you. She doesn't trust me. I can hurt her and bring her to the brink of death over and over again. But if she doesn't trust me, well, I'm only going to get whatever answers she thinks I want to hear to stop the pain. But you're her friend. So when you offer to stop the pain, she'll trust you.
Well, she's smarter than me, so somehow I don't think so, but I'll try.
We'll see. And he waves his hand again, and you hear the door open, and that large, hulking figure comes in. Gruel, bring me the girl. And he kind of looks confused. The one we interrogated before. Oh, and he walks away. While that is happening, Vala, Argenta, Lillian, Commander, you guys hear the door close and they start to walk away. Is there anything you guys want to do?
I imagine the bars aren't there, close my eyes and try to walk through them. No, I'm kidding.
But bump into them, land on your ass.
The question. 'Cause I don't know. 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 'Cause I don't would my health to be balanced? Would I be able to listen anything about the poison?
About the what?
About the poison affecting Bella?
Oh. Make make an arcana check.
Uh, 7.
It's weird. You saw it retract. You know how antitoxins work, but it's almost like something is pumping more poison into her.
Mm.
And other than that, you've got nothing.
Even after removing the thing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the big effect of removing it is the fact that she can cast magic. But removing it apparently had some side effects. You wouldn't notice that Henri has none of these side effects that you can see. So it's just Vala.
I will take my sword and see the law to react with that slight resistance.
You're gonna activate your right then, or
Yeah, I'll activate my radiant.
so as you do that again, as you swing hard, you notice the light reflecting off of something that's not there, and every time you swing at it fast, it never actually impacts the lock. It stops just less than an inch short of it.
Hey, Vala,
So still under the barrier or whatever. Okay.
you said you had a crowbar, yes?
Yes, I have a crowbar in my bag. I'll very slowly reach over, grab it, and hand it over.
Yeah. I'm just gonna, because I've been watching Lillian and I've done it before, I'm just gonna slowly tap the lock with the crowbar.
As you do it slowly, you feel metal on metal, and you hear the kind of ting sound.
There's nowhere. Is this lock like? There's no weak. You said it's finely made, so there's no like weak points a crowbar to get onto it, right?
Not on the lock itself. Obviously, the latching mechanism. Make me a perception check.
Not great. 13.
So looking around, the actual latching mechanism is really well made. There's extra parts that kind of cover places where you normally would be able to fit in a crowbar to try and pry it open. And again, the bars are something weird where they don't budge or move at all. Overall, you think with maybe with enough time, you might find a place of leverage. But with how high quality the lock is and how the cage is made, you're not confident you'd be able to break it.
Alright. I give Bala back her crowbar. Not gonna work.
Thanks.
Honestly, I'm kind of amiss at the moment. The mm, I've numbered women. I don't remember their names. In all honesty, I don't care to remember their names. But they aren't giving us any. Well, the young one was, but they're keeping her from us. And then I don't know. I've just been in this cage the entire time. Only you and Henri have left.
Yes, and I've been blindfolded and tortured. It's a delightful time. You should try it.
Mm. I've gotten a good taste, enough of a taste from pulling that thing out of your neck and then capping it with a dagger.
Right. Thank you for that, by the way.
As you say that, you guys hear the door click open again, and you see the big hulking creature come in, followed closely behind by the third woman you met before. Well, seems someone is rather popular. And she waves her hands, and the door to the cage opens as Gruul comes in. And he goes and he reaches for you, Vala, kind of ripping you up by grabbing your arm, and you feel a whole new wave of pain go through you.
Ugh.
Very gentle.
Sorry, no autographs today. I need my beauty rest.
Hey,
It's so adorable. You think you have a choice in this matter. That is just... lucky for you. I think you're going to be kind of useful. Gruul. Go outside and be a darling, and make sure that the door closes correctly. Yeah, if it doesn't close correctly, the entirety of the master's new toys will get out. And you watch him let go of you, Vala, and walk out and close the door behind him. Good help is so hard to find.
It's so true.
And she comes over and gets awkwardly close as she slips a hand around your back and kind of lifts you up by your lower back to be very, very close to her. And you can feel her rummaging around in like a belt pouch or something, and she brings up this very small vial that she flicks the top off of and goes, "Prepare yourself, sweetie." And she presses it to your lips, and this very strange sweet substance touches your tongue, and you feel this kind of almost acidic shock, like if you've ever tasted a lemon that just kind of... And suddenly your entire mouth feels like it's been coated in this kind of cooling, almost menthol feeling, and it starts working its way down your throat, into your chest, into your stomach, and you feel your entire body just kind of feel cooled and slightly numbed. And you hear the door open up, and before you can realize what's happening, you feel her lips get pressed to yours. And you hear this, and suddenly she breaks away. "Oh, so sorry. She just... I wanted to try her out a little bit before the Dark Lord breaks her." You're not gonna tell on me, are you, Gruel? Okay. I'll just leave her alone.
Well, that wasn't the worst kiss I ever had. Very well.
Is there an
No.
HR department here? I think we need to speak with them.
Oh, hush you.
By the
Go
way,
on.
what happened?
Go
What
ahead.
happened to 4-3?
It's not question time right now. And she walks over and kind of waves, and Gruel comes over. And as he picks you up, the first thing you notice, your neck still hurts. Like you can feel the pain, but it feels very far away.
So more like this is like pain medication,
Kind of.
probably not like an antitoxin. Like this doesn't remove cause.
It doesn't seem like
alleviated.
it's fixed anything. It seems like it's a painkiller.
Okay.
I kind of turned, as they leave, I kind of turned to the commander. I think 4 is dead. That's a shame.
Jody,
What?
During the time when Gruel and them left, I want to ask Dark Lord if you could bring me someone you don't care about here, because I feel getting answers out of her would be best suited if I appeal to her heroic side.
Oh, okay. He sits back and goes, "Well, aren't you the crafty little one?" Elle, and you see the woman come forward. Yes, my lord? Bring me satin. Of course, my lord. And she walks off. And a few moments later, you see her coming in with the fourth girl you'd seen before, the very young girl. She comes in. My lord, it is an honor and a pleasure to be here. What can I do for you? Well, my servant here has come up with an ingenious idea. Unfortunately for you, you're going to have to die. And you watch him wave his hand again, and suddenly all of her muscles, you watch her entire body go stiff. And Elle very slowly comes over and moves her to the center of the circle at the bottom of the room, at the south end of the room. And you watch her attach physical chains to her arms, to her ankles, and then another one that goes around her neck. And suddenly you see her kind of, but my lord, I've done nothing but serve you. And he turns to you, Henri. Do whatever you want. Can always get a new one. And when he says that, you hear the door open, and you watch as the third comes in with Vala and Gruel close behind. And Vala, you kind of see the room. You can see El standing next to the vampire lord on the dais, and Satine moves to the base of the stairs and leans against the dais a little bit. And you're just deposited right there in front. And you can see the fourth woman you've met before in the circle to the south, chained, and this look of panic on her face. So I tried to be nice. I really did. But you just weren't willing to cooperate. So now my servant is going to deal with you. And he is much less forgiving. Henri, do it.
Before I get to the thing, Jody, quick question.
Mhm.
And all my time back and forth here,
Mhm.
would I have gathered that we are on a different plane of existence when we're here?
You don't think so.
Okay.
Traveling between planes since the Kale Isles are cut off, isn't really possible. There are like demi-planes and the things like Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion, where you create your own plane of existence. That's somewhat work, but as far as actually going to a different plane, your understanding is it's not possible right now.
Okay. So, I will kind of walk around Vala, and when my back is to the Dark Lord and no one else can see me, I'll kind of give Vala a little wink. Now, he wants answers. I figure you won't talk if we torture you. So instead, I'm going to torture her. And I'll point to number 4.
Wait, no.
But
I can-
Matt, and you hear the girl go, "Master, I've..." And again he waves his hand, and just a half second later, you see a gag appear, and now she's, "Mom!" And you can just see the pain and the panic in her eyes as a single tear moves down her cheek.
This isn't necessary. Let's talk. Let her go. She has nothing to do with this. Henri, what do you want to know? Just tell me.
I assume he would have told me what he wanted to know.
Yeah, but probably should have mentioned that.
Like, what do you know?
You hear in your head, find out how she snuck in here and stole that trinket.
Well, I think you know.
What? I didn't sneak in here. I swear it. I was given it. It was given to me for a job.
Okay.
Vala, go ahead and make me a deception check.
$11.
So as he sits there, you hear from behind you, still having trouble with the truth. Henri, show him or show her what happens when she lies.
Oh, I don't like doing this. I'll pull out the dagger that Argenta gave me, and I will. Oh man, just thinking about this makes me queasy. I will put it underneath one of the fingernails and just pop it off.
Vala or the
Oh.
girl?
Number 4.
You hear even muffled by the gag, you guys can hear her scream in pain. Tears are streaming down her face.
You don't have to do this to her. I'm the one you want the answers from. It wasn't okay. Fine. It wasn't for a job. It was a reward from a job. Henri doesn't know this, but when we all first met, we were supposed to go to a town, Dormay. I had been hired to go there and thwart the group.
Go ahead and make me another deception check.
10?
Seems she's just not learning. Henri?
I will again just commence.
I will start moving towards Henri to stop him.
Okay. As you start to move, I need a wisdom save.
Uh, 13.
Okay. As you start to move, all of your muscles seize, and you're frozen in place. As you watch as Henri again brings the dagger up, you see, you hear another scream. You close your eyes to avoid witnessing. As you open them again, you can see a small pool of tears just in front of her as she seems to be continuing to cry.
I will try to turn back to him, to the Dark Lord.
Currently, all your muscles are frozen. You are paralyzed.
You want to know where I got it from? I got it from L.
Ooh. Take inspiration, because that was cool. And go ahead and make a deception check with advantage.
24.
Okay. The Dark Lord turns to his right. Really? And Elle, you even with her being kind of a pale girl, you can see her face gets even more pale. My lord, I've never met this woman in my life. And suddenly you hear chimed up, oh, I guess that makes sense. As the third woman at the bottom of the stairs goes, I thought it was awkward that Elle kept sneaking out of the room at night. I guess she was friendlier than even I was. You see the Dark Lord getting more and more angry. And he points at you, Vala. Take her away! And you feel yourself being lifted, still incapable of movement. And you are taken away. Henri, you have done well. Though I may need to use your services for something else. He points out that he comes down from the throne, opens the door, and points at a door further down the hall. You don't have to go back to that cell. Go ahead. Get some rest in the dorm. I'll call you when I need you.
If I go out the door, would I still see Vala being carried away?
But when you first go out the door, no, he's a little bit too fast for that. If you were to kind of run, you might be able to see him going into the dining room.
Nah, that'll look super off.
Am I blindfolded, or can I actually see the route now?
You can see.
Okay.
Henri, you hear from the Dark Lord as you're walking away. Lisa, take Satin, clean her up. I will deal with you both later. And as she goes over and takes out the gag and starts picking her up, you can see out of the corner of your eye, he comes down and he comes over to Satin and just kisses her hand. I'm so sorry, but you were wonderful. And then he leans down and kisses her on the forehead. I promise I will make it up to you. And then kind of just pats her shoulder, and Lisa and Satin walk out.
On my way to the dorm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try and just do a quick thaumaturgy to see if I can change the color of my eyes, see if I can actually cast still.
Yeah. You don't seem to have any issue with casting currently.
Then before I get to the room, I want to try and secretly send a message to Argenta.
Mm-hmm.
Say, tell Vala I had no other choice.
Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand, because you have both Lisa and Satin coming up behind you. So you'd have to try and kind of hide it from them.
The curse is worn off. Natural 20.
All right, yeah, you have no problem getting this spell off. You can hear Satin just gently weeping as she goes through, and you can hear Lisa, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's all over now. Don't you worry. We're gonna get you cleaned up," and they just keep going on. As you enter the room, the first thing that hits you is just this smell of unwashed people and sweat and grime. And as you look around, you can see a large number of beds in here, easily 16 beds, and about half of them have the people in it in various states of dress. As you walk in, none of them even acknowledge you. You see a couple get up and kind of push past you to go out the door, and the rest seem to be resting.
I will go to a bed that looks to be the farthest away from everybody,
Mhm.
and I will get under the covers and pull out the holy symbol that Fade carved for everybody. That's glowing purple,
Mhm.
and obviously I'm not going to say it out loud, but just say, "Help her."
Okay.
Hopes that the Dark Lady hears me.
Okay. So, back in the cage, while all this has been going on, Argenta, Lillian, and Commander, is there anything you guys have been doing?
I mean, there's not much I can do. I'm looking at the same wall I've been looking at for 72 hours.
Okay, okay. Suddenly, you guys hear the door open, and you see Lisa come in with Gruel, and you see Vala being carried in, seemingly completely paralyzed, and Gruel just comes over and throws her on the ground, and they both leave. Lillian, did you have something you wanted to do before she got there?
No, I didn't do it. About it.
Oh, okay. So, Vala, as you hit the ground, you suddenly feel your muscles go lax, and you're able to move again. You also notice the pain in the back of your neck is starting to come back. You think the painkiller must be starting to wear off.
Oh, I'm just gonna find a spot to sit
So,
or lie down or something. Like just try to move as little as possible.
once the door to the hallway is shut and locked again, I just say, Henri messaged me. He said he was sorry and that he had no other choice, whatever that means.
I told him to do his worst, thinking he would take it out on me. Instead, they had that nice girl, number 4.
Oh,
Whose
Four's
name-
alive.
Yes, had her chained up, and he started to torture her.
Is she still
Knowing-
alive?
Knowing that my weakness for the innocent would persuade me.
I mean, you did tell him to do his worst.
I did. I just didn't think he would do it to somebody else.
No,
course.
wait, you told and it didn't feel like he had another choice.
I mean, he seemed to be under control, and I didn't see. Well, I mean, he sent a message, so he must have his powers. But I let slip that Elle was the one who gave me the my focus. So
And I honestly don't know if you're lying or telling the truth.
why would I lie to you?
Sorry to just laugh. Anyway.
As you're speaking, you suddenly hear the door open, and you see Lisa come walking in with a huge grin on her face.
Hello, cat. That's what I'll call you. That's your nickname now. You're not 3 anymore. You're a cat.
Listen, You can call me whatever you want. I don't care. The likelihood of any of you living for more than a few more days here is pretty low. But you, and she comes right up to the bars and kind of caresses your cheek, Vala. You are wonderful.
Well,
Do you know what you've done? Oh, I get chills just thinking about it.
well, I mean, I am good. What exactly did I do for you?
You don't need to know that right now. Just understand for the moment. You've made me very happy, and if I stay in a good mood, I might even return the favor.
I live to serve.
Oh,
I will
you
be of service.
will. See, with what you started, you may even become the new four. He seems to have taken a bit of a liking to you. And let's be honest, you're not bad to look at, and you don't have that innocence that Satin just clings to. You know, I've never really understood his preoccupation with her. I mean, who wants someone that doesn't know what they're doing?
Well, I liked Satin. I hope she'll be okay.
She'll be fine. Though, probably a little put out for a few days. But compared to some of the things I had to go through, she's getting off easy. The Dark Lord has always been so easy on her. To be honest, I'm kind of happy she finally had to pay her dues.
Hmm.
Well, I have things to do and demented little children to fix. I just wanted to say how happy I am that you've finally come to your senses. And who knows? Maybe you and I can work together again sometime. That is, until the master makes you one of his own.
Hmm. What does that mean?
Oh, you'll find out.
Are you one of his?
Of course I am.
Yeah, she's one of the numbers. I think she means one of the numbers.
He, some odd reason, likes the number 4. Always has to have 4. See, the last 4 we had, because I was 4, and then something happened to number 2, and then 3 moved up to 2, and I moved up to 3, and then we got the spoiled little innocent Satin. And now that L is... Well, we won't talk about that. I am going to go have the most luxurious bath I've ever had. Toodles, everyone. And she...
Yeah, congratulations on your promotion.
Sorry, I didn't get any of that. What did you say?
I see what I said. Congratulations on your promotion. thing.
She kind of looks at you and gives you a wink and walks out the door.
You think after a week of surviving in this cage, they'll finally bring me some wine? I'm not saying that they're after that after she leaves.
I mean, it's possible.
Look,
mean,
I don't want to have to start calling you Four, but if you get that dead fish look in your eyes, like they all do,
Please kill me.
I'll take a contract.
I'm hoping it won't be here long enough to find out. Now that Henri can move freely,
Commander, how much black powder do you have on your person?
About what I have in use, Jody.
Say again?
How much black powder would I carry on myself right now?
Not a ton, basically just enough to make some extra ammo. So, but probably, do you know what a powder horn is?
Yes.
Yeah, you'd have about a powder horn of black powder.
So I show him my horn.
Alright, not enough to blow a hole in the wall.
Well, I got far. I had a few ideas. And I came out my alchemy camp. And they will have to be able to use something. When I have what I need to make either some kind of acid or something like somebody.
Good question. You probably wouldn't have the materials necessary for thermite, since that's a really complex thing to make. Acid, on the other hand, in your alchemy kit, you would probably have a couple different acidic things and enough other ingredients that you could increase the acidic value of one of them to a pretty bad acid.
Well, if we don't have enough black powder, maybe I should cut something out here. That could solve that problem.
As you say that, you guys suddenly hear the door open, and you see Gruel, or no, you see a new person you haven't seen before. Has the same dead eyes that you've seen other people have, but he's much smaller. He's wearing kind of a disheveled and moth-eaten tuxedo, and he's leading Satin, who now is just kind of very silently weeping as she's being led in. And as he comes in, he goes, "Oh, seemed to have taken a wrong turn. Doesn't matter, we can take this door." And you watch him walk through the room and go to the door on the east wall and open it up. And you guys can see for just the briefest moment another cage with the woman you saw before in it, as he drags Satin through and shuts the door behind him.
as they're going through, I'll just kind of like reach out to Satin and be like, "I am so sorry. I'm so sorry you got dragged into this."
And she just kind of looks at you with tears in her eyes, and kind of shakes her head. It's my fault. If I, it's all over now. It had to happen, and it's over. And she's kind of stuttering as she says it, and she just kind of seems to be pulling from phrases she's used to using, but none of it seems to be conscious, I guess would be the right word. She's just kind of speaking to comfort herself. The door closes behind, and just as it's closed, you see this very bright light shine from in there.
And we saw the other woman in there.
Yes, she's in her own cage.
Do we see like any light coming from underneath the door?
The door is remarkably well made. There's no area underneath it or above that light could get through. You do see a little bit of light through the keyhole.
Well, now we know what she is.
Yeah, that, you know that motion that they keep doing whenever they unlock our cage?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I just want to try and mimic that.
Sure. Make me a performance, Jack.
Sure.
As I'm watching him do this, I would
15.
I would kind of like to use prestidigitation to make the sound of the lock unlocking.
Okay. So, Argenta, you, as much as you can remember, you make the hand gesture, and you hear this clicking sound. Vala, I'm gonna have you roll me a sleight of hand check.
Fair enough. It's only 22.
Okay. What's your passive perception, Argenta?
15.
Yeah. So you hear it sounds like the lock just clicked open.
I'll try to open the door.
As you sit there and kind of push into it, you kind of walk face first into it, and it doesn't budge.
Arcane bullshit.
I'll just burst out laughing. I'm sorry, I needed something.
It's fine. Honestly, I'm out of ideas, else I wouldn't even have tried that.
Okay.
Jody?
Mm-hmm.
Would I know, just offhand, how much black powder it would take to blow up a lock?
Make me an intelligence check.
What is it? Oh, 14.
It would depend on a lot of different factors, like what it's made out of, the internal mechanics. But you think if you could get access to the locking mechanism itself, it would take most of your black powder for a lock this high quality and complex. But you think it might be possible.
Okay.
However, that would basically leave you with the bullets currently in your gun and two reloads until you can get to a place to resupply.
All right.
Kind of a similar question. Do I know how long it would take me to make a lock that's capable of easy through the wall?
To be honest, you're not sure you have the stuff in your kit that you could make that could eat through the lock. Other surfaces like the floor, that is theoretically more possible. But that would to figure out if you could, that would take an intelligence check.
I'll make one.
You
Okay.
know what's an escape plan that I wasn't considering until now?
19.
What's that?
If we get another bag of holding and then we put it in our bag of holding.
Yeah.
That won't end poorly at all.
And if wishes were horses, we'd all be eating steak right now. I don't know if this is possible, but prestidigitation, I know I can make a small non-magical trinket or object that can fit in my hand. So I'm going to focus and try to make a set of lock-picking tools.
Okay, we'll come back to that in just a second. Lillian, with a 19, you don't have enough acid to like burn a hole in the floor large enough for anyone to get out. However, you do think if you burned in certain places, you might be able to loosen the stuff that holds the door in place enough that you might be able to manipulate it a little bit. So kind of make an alternate channel for the stopper, I guess, that would allow you to kind of move it even with it being a little locked.
Do I have is it strong enough now when I have to work on it?
You'd have a couple hours at least of work ahead of you mixing things, and you would get only one shot at it. You just don't have enough supplies for more than that. So, Vala, what was your question again?
I'm going to try to use prestidigitation to make a set of lock-picking tools.
So as you do that, you do create items that look like a set of lock bits. It's not a full set because it's a little bit more than you can make. Because I don't know if you've ever seen a lock picking set, but they're it's a bag like that by that.
Yeah, and plus I'm not a rogue. I've never really used lock picking tools.
Yeah, you've got
so kind of my imagination of what they would look like.
Yeah, you basically made a rake and a tension wrench.
So I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to slowly see if I can insert them into the lock.
Okay. As you kind of twist them around, you hear this, and you pull the rake out, and it's missing the rake portion of it.
So I can make them, they're just not very durable.
Yeah, they're not really useful as lockpicks, but you can use them to make things that look like lockpicks.
Got
it.
However, the ability to make makeshift lockpicks is not extremely difficult as long as you have something to make them out of. However, I don't think is anyone trained in the thieves' tools?
Just the person not here.
Yeah.
A preacher would be the only person with the knowledge and enough.
And she probably just has thieves' tools on her.
She probably does. You do? Oh, So Lillian does have a set of the thieves tools.
Well,
So you just see me like, trap. Crap, that didn't work. So I will depress to digitize those so they disappear. So it's not gonna lock. I'll just deject. And Lillian walks up like, "Oh, do you mean these? You've had them the whole time."
And as you look at them, you realize
You
that
had 2 pairs of gloves? Sorry.
you realize as you look at them that the rake you made was never going to work. It was just shaped wrong.
I mean, do you want to try seeing if you can pick the lock?
yeah, I don't know it.
You can try. With lockpicking being such a specialized skill, it's not something you can do without at least some training, but you're welcome to try and see if you get lucky. Oh, okay. So you are. Yeah. If you want to. Again, this is a super high quality lock. So yeah, it's add your dex and proficiency.
Hey, Jody, while they're doing that, does the door have hinges on the cell?
Yes, it does. The door opens outward, so the hinges are on the outside of the cell.
And do they look at all like they could be, you know how on a door you can hammer the pin out from the bottom?
You have a hard time seeing them because they're outside the cage, and you don't really have a way to reach them. So you're not quite sure of their exact creation. Lillian, what did you get?
I got it.
Okay, so sitting there and fitting the thieves' tools in there, you can feel some things moving around, and you feel kind of a click, and you try opening the door, and nothing happens. And then you pull the lockpicks out, and they're intact. You think you might have dealt with one aspect of it, but again, with it being so complicated, it has like multiple tumblers and things like that. So
Is there anything that any of you are forgetting you can do, like Misty Step?
Well, I mean, and I will attempt to cast Misty Step. But I will say Misty Step is a warlock spell that I know, and I have no more bardic level 2 spell slots, and I don't have a warlock focus. So I'm assuming nothing will
the
happen.
focus basically makes it so you don't need to use material components. It takes the place of materials. Misty Step is a vocal only spell. So
Right.
as long as you have a spell slot, doesn't matter bard or warlock. As long as you have a spell slot, you can use it.
So yeah, I'll just be like, yeah, I mean I do, but it won't, and I'll just pass right through the
All right,
the
I need a concentration check.
I will try to, and that would be a 10.
Okay. As you're focusing on it, you start to speak the words, and then you feel this intense pain from the back of your neck as you accidentally turned your head a little bit, and you lose concentration on the spell instantly. The spell slot is used up, but nothing happens.
And as she does that, I'm like, don't, in case you run out of slots and you're stuck out there, I don't want you to be caught out of the cave.
Yeah, no, in theory, I just had the one left. Or I have one other, but yeah, no, that's a excellent point.
Honestly, I'm kind of, unless a brawl breaks out, I'm kind of not great in this situation.
Well, I guess I can try to get even more, or we go into the beginning idea of my original idea. Or we wait and see what Henry does.
Speaking of Henri, Henri, after you say your little prayer, you still like you don't have levels of exhaustion, but you still feel drained and exhausted in general. So you're in bed right now. You're starting to get used to the smell of this room. Anything you want to do? You're starting to realize that the interrogation took a lot longer than you originally thought. You think there's only probably about 3 or 4 hours until you would normally start looking to make camp anyway.
Yeah, I would just under the covers just clasp the focus of the Dark Lady that Fade gave us, and just keep saying, help her.
Okay. Eventually, after an hour or so passes, you see everyone in the room just start getting up and going out the door.
What's going on?
You're not sure. You're welcome to follow them.
I will, because that would look probably suspicious if I stayed in the room by myself.
Okay. So as you walk out, you watch them all take an immediate left turn and head into the dining room you've passed through a few times. As you get in there, you can see that the dining room is packed, full of people now, and there are large amounts of food all over the table. None of it is that appetizing. There's some bread that looks at least a day old. You can see some cold cuts of meat that you're not exactly sure how fresh it is, and then the various fruits that are in various levels of ripeness.
I'll kind of pocket some of the fruit.
Okay. Make me a just straight up dexterity check.
I can do math. 16 plus 19.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Tired, Maria?
it takes you about 10 minutes to find pieces of fruit that are not so overripe that you don't feel comfortable taking them. But you eventually find a few pieces. You do notice this is not good quality produce. Like, this is stuff you would see like rejected by most people, either because it is groaning correctly, or it's too ripe, or it's not ripe enough. But none of this is stuff you think you would ever see served to people.
I reluctantly try one.
It's the first one. Go ahead and choose even or odd.
Odd, since I roll a lot of one.
Okay, as you bite into it, your teeth barely make it in an eighth of an inch before they kind of get stuck. And you realize this is incredibly underripe. As some of the juice spills out, it's incredibly sour and tart. You don't think it's dangerous to eat or anything. It's just not going to be pleasant.
I will just put aside the other two in hopes that they're better tomorrow.
All right. Anything else you want to do?
You said this room is packed?
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be obvious if I tried something. So yeah, no, I don't want to immediately get on Dark Lord's bad side, so I'll just pretend like I'm there for the meal.
Mm-hmm. You can see easily about 20 some odd people in the room, but you don't see the Dark Lord or any of his four concubines here.
I'll start to walk down the direction of where the, like, towards the bottom of the, like, this way. That makes, and kind of peek around the corner towards the cells and see if anyone's paying attention to me.
For the most part, no one's really looking at you. As you walk past people, some of them will acknowledge you. Some of them have a very strong odor of undeath around them. Others look to be living. They all kind of have these dead eyes. So yeah, you don't seem to be making any waves, but it's obvious people are noticing you walking.
I'll head up towards the top. At the door that's up there, I'll kind of just lean on the wall and then use my ghostly gaze to see what's on the other side of the north door.
But before you can even do that, the door itself bursts open, and you're almost taken out by a young man holding a tray full of pitchers of some dark liquid that he goes over and starts filling people's cups. And as the door swings open, you're able to look in and see a kitchen.
Not what I was expecting. Okay. Then I guess I will try to look on the eastern wall. Just try and look for something that looks somewhat like a way out with what I'm going for.
The eastern wall is over. Wrong, but it's an over here.
Or western wall, sorry.
Western. Yeah, you can see the door that leads back to the hallway with the dorms and the throne room that you've been in before. In the north side of the wall, and then the south side, there's just an opening that leads back to where the cells are and other things.
I was mainly trying to look through the wall that's in between the door.
With your sight.
Yeah, because I would have seen this door passing by it, the one just in that little.
Yeah, you would have seen. On the other side is kind of an ante-chamber kind of thing. As you look around, you can see there's a little bit of storage in there. though whatever they're storing, because you're already looking through a wall, you have a hard time figuring out. And there's a door on the opposite side, but you can't see through it just because it's too far away.
Okay. I guess once that wears off, I'll just wander back towards the dorm.
All right. At this point, you can see other people kind of filling up the beds and everything, and the lights start to go low like they did before. Anything you want to do before you go to sleep?
I guess just try and send another message to Argenta because I know since I gave Vala the ring, I can't communicate to her. To just say I'll try and figure out something from this, I'll try and figure out a way to help you from my perspective since I'm out.
All right, Genta, you get that message as you see the lights are dimming in the room. Lillian, for the rest of the day, you try to tinkering more and more, and you learn a little bit about the lock, but it's beyond your current ability to pick it.
The floor of this room, is it like uniform? Is there anything off about it? I'll just kind of like knock and see if it's solid. Like underneath the cage.
Oh yeah, the floor underneath the cage is very solid. It's again, it's kind of like a polished concrete. And as far as you can tell, it is just solid completely. You don't feel any kind of hollow spaces as you knock on it or anything.
Yeah, I'm lost.
Is there anything else you guys want to do before you hit the hay for the night?
Guess not.
Do you guys want me to try to make that way?
I mean, we could try to maybe loosen up one of the bars that way. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to try to see if I can use my mage hand to open that the eastern door over there. What do you guys think?
I am out of things that I can do, so.
You did notice when they went through the door, he didn't wave his hand or anything. He just took a key out, put it in the lock, and opened it.
So it's probably a locked door.
Mm-hmm. But it's the door leading out is locked, but that one is really complex. The one on the east wall isn't. It's just a regular key lock.
Because no matter what, I really want to try to save her. To get her out of here.
In all honesty, she's probably way out.
Right, so all we need to do is get out of this cage with a magical lock that can't be picked.
Which seems impossible, yes.
Well, I can get out of here easily, maybe. Get over to there, pick that lock, which should be easy. But of course, the person that knows how to pick locks can't get out of this cell. And then convince somebody with tremendous powers that they have tremendous powers and need to destroy this place.
Yes. Look, all they need to do is throw the roof off of the place and just let the sun come in and... Anyway.
You kn-
And then we can kill the sexual predator 2 now, the emotionless 1 now, and put 3 out of her misery.
No, I think Satin, because she has a name. I think Satin. I think we can free her. I don't think she's totally lost yet.
Can we free her? She seems mentally trapped.
I would like to try. But
I
that
agree with Flower.
Honestly, I would rather this place just not exist anymore. I don't want to associate or see anybody from this place ever again.
well, I mean, I'm not saying we need to have a class reunion or anything. I'm just saying maybe not murder everyone.
As you say that, the lights around the room dim like they have the last couple nights.
All right, I thinking on what Argenta just said and recalling something earlier, I'm going to go through my pack, pull out that little acorn that I had, and I'm going to set it on the ground. I'm going to draw some lines, and I'm going to ritually cast Identify on it.
Remind me again, where'd you get the acorn?
I believe the fairies gave it to me.
Yeah, after we
Oh, the fairy.
Oh,
Or the yes.
Yeah.
Cast teleport one.
It's a wish acorn. It seems to function similarly to sending stones.
So I could send a message to, or could I? Wait. So sending stones, aren't those the ones where you hold it for a minute and then you teleport? Or is it a sending of a message?
Sending stones are walkie-talkies, basically.
Oh. Guys, this could let me talk to the fairies.
Can the fairies teleport us out of it?
If the fairies can travel extraplanary,
Well, they couldn't, because then they'd be that.
They couldn't say it was a four.
You know that they're magically capable.
true, and they probably don't work on No, they are on our plane.
Well, yes. I mean, the plane's been cut off, so I doubt on another one.
Alright, well, we don't know where we are, so sending out an SOS to them. Come, please help us. Well, where are you?
This is
No
how,
idea.
This is how we start the great fairy vampire war.
I mean, if you had to pick.
I don't remember writing that war into the history of this world.
Do you don't remember the Great Fae Helsing?
Apparently, my memory is not very good.
Oh.
And anything else you guys wanted to do before you hit the hey?
No.
All right, you guys go to sleep. And that is where we are going to end it for tonight. I want to thank anyone that watched this live. If you did miss any of the show, I do upload these to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/trainer Jody. Otherwise, that's all for me today, and I'll see you guys in the next time. All right. Bye bye.